Networking and marketing made simple is for you, the business owner who has a product, a service, or a message that you believe in. My name is Scott Aaron, and each week we'll take a behind-the-scenes look into the real-world marketing and networking tactics and strategies for getting what you have in front of you to a lot more people. Thanks for spending time with me, and now let's get started. Hey everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Networking and Marketing Made Simple. Super excited for today's episode for a number of reasons. I got some awesome new content for you today, as you can see by the title of the episode. But also, for those that did not see our posts on social media, it's back. The 5-day amateur to expert LinkedIn intensive that people have been asking for. We haven't done it for 8 months. The last time we did this intensive, it was last August of 2021. It is back and it is open for registration. So all you have to do, click the link in the description of this episode to register. It's from April 25th to April 30th. Yes, it's 5 days. There will be a bonus 6th day on Saturday for Q&A. It's 8 to 9 p.m. EDT, Monday through Thursday. Friday is our happy hour session from 5 to 6. And then we have our brunch session for Q&A on Saturday, which is 11 to 12 EDT, live and recorded. The recordings will actually be available for 2 whole weeks. So you'll be able to watch back all of the replays until May 11th. Now, this is going to be all the updated stuff. So the optimization of your profile and all the new things in regards to optimizing your profile that's been changed over the last 8 months. How to specifically build your ideal client and customer network and updates from that in the last 8 months. Messaging and the example sales calls you need to have to close more opportunities. Content creation and all the new ways that you can create content that have come about in the last 8 months. And then following our simple 20-minute a day routine to make sure that you're succeeding the right way on the platform. All of that's going to be covered and more. Everyone gets a workbook. There's a private Facebook group. There's going to be huge prizes and everything given out. And there's also an opportunity to become an affiliate of this workshop so you can share it out with your network. So again, go in the description of this episode to register, and we hope to see you there. So on to today's episode, which I'm actually very excited to talk about, because the fact is there's a lot of people that are doing things on LinkedIn that not only are hurting their businesses, but they're hurting their credibility. And I wanted to go over the 3 specific ways that people are ruining their credibility on LinkedIn right now. Now, the one thing that I do truly know, and all of you know this, is that we get one good shot to make a good first impression. And along the same lines of that, the same goes for our credibility. Once one of those 2 is tarnished, it is really hard to get it back. And sadly, I see so many people on social media following the advice and the tactics of those that they shouldn't. And you want to know something? It's hurting their business. It's hurting their credibility. And more so, it's hurting the relationships that they're trying to build with people online. I've seen many different things and tactics on LinkedIn specifically to try to, quote unquote, beat the algorithm, or ways to get more engagement. And from the outside looking in, it may sound like a good idea when you first hear about it. But once you get under the kimono and you see what something and what someone is doing to get that on the receiving end, you realize that it's not a good idea to take a shortcut. Now, it's okay to shorten the learning curve by learning from the right person, but taking a shortcut is never going to get you there. Now, Nancy and I, my wife, we're always talking about how something needs to pass what we call the smell test. So when it comes to adding a note to a connection request, sending a message to your new connection, or any of the content that you're posting out, does it pass the smell test? And the smell test is something, to give you an example, is if you yourself was receiving a connection request with that note added to it, or you were receiving that first touch-based message, or that post that you're reading on LinkedIn, would you accept that connection request? Would you respond to that message? Would you engage in that piece of content? If the answer is no, then it stinks and it doesn't pass the smell test. Never, ever do anything on LinkedIn that you yourself wouldn't respond to or engage with. Now, there are 3 specific things that I see and hear from other people that is hurting and ruining their credibility on LinkedIn. So first and foremost is they're using automation and automated systems to connect for them that adds a sales pitch note. First of all, this is clearly stated in the user agreement of LinkedIn. And here's what it says. It says, do not use bots or other automated methods to access the service of LinkedIn, add or download contacts, or send or redirect messages in any way. That's taken right from the LinkedIn user agreement. So my bigger question is this, and I want you all to think about this. How genuine is it to use software that you shouldn't be using in the first place, and that is also mimicking what a real human should be doing? How genuine is that? Why would you sell and pitch someone your services and what you can do in the connection note before you even know the person or what they do for a profession? Where has the relationship been built? It hasn't. Do they even know? Do they even need what you have to offer? Do they even know anything about your business? Here's the deal. To find that out, just send the connection to someone who actually could benefit from what you do, or someone that could introduce you to that person that could really utilize your offering. Remember, you're on LinkedIn to create connection, to create rapport, to create trust, not spam people. The second thing that people are doing is they're using an automated system that sends messages to new connections after you become connected to them. So this goes back to something that I stated in the first example, the user agreement. This is a clear violation of the LinkedIn user agreement. And you do run the risk, if you're doing this, of having your account disabled for life and never getting it back. You'll lose all your connections. You'll lose all your relationships. You'll lose all your content. You'll lose all your recommendations. And most importantly, you lose all the credibility as a business owner. This is the honest truth. If you can't take 10 minutes to genuinely and heartfeltly reach out to new connections in a way that creates rapport, that creates trust, LinkedIn may not be the best platform for you. Facebook and Instagram may be better. No human being likes to be sold to. No human being likes to be pitched to, including yourself that's listening to this. So why would you sell and pitch someone else? Something that my mother always said to me when I was a little kid, and she'll still remind me every now and then. Treat others the way that you would want to be treated in return. No more selling. No more pitching. It's time to start doubling down on human connecting. Now, the third thing that I want to talk about that's ruining people's credibility on LinkedIn are engagement pods. I've done a whole episode just on this, but I want to reiterate. This topic by itself has always been a trigger for me. Always. I don't understand why people feel it's best to try to beat the LinkedIn algorithm by getting this forced engagement. And for those that don't know, forced engagement is basically having a common agreement with a group of people, whether it's a paid group or a free group, to all like and comment on each other's content to drive up the analytics to create more quote unquote organic visibility. But is it really worth it? So a connection of mine on LinkedIn, Matt Dooley, wrote a great article. And he talked about the 5 cons, as far as pros and cons, the 5 cons to being in a LinkedIn engagement pod. So the first thing he said is it's only half the battle. The posts that get the pod treatment can still be downgraded in the first trial step. If it's determined to be spam, or a LinkedIn human decides to diminish its placement, they can reduce that engagement. The second thing, it's not always genuine. The worst pods can act like performance-enhancing steroids, juicing your numbers as an artificial attempt to inflate quality scores. In these cases, pods act like shortcuts for those who do not want to spend time or resources to give their following anything useful. The third thing is superficial engagement can hurt your credibility. A simple comment, for comment's sake, may not add much value to your LinkedIn community. A comment that says, "I agree, thanks for sharing," is asking and aching to all of the Instagram type comments you see with the flame emojis or love this pic with heart emojis. The savvy LinkedIn user can see right through this. So instead of building credibility with lots of comments, people question your credibility. Number 4, it can take a lot of time to do it right. If you're actually going to uphold your end of the bargain, participating in an engagement pod, it's a serious commitment. Between liking, commenting, and back and forth conversations on others' posts, not to mention your own post, you have to really weigh the costs and the benefits to determine if it's worth the time commitment. And finally, LinkedIn could react. The LinkedIn team probably doesn't love the idea of pods, so there's a good chance that they will take, or already have been taking, measures to diminish the ROI of being a part of one. It's been reported that Facebook hates Instagram pods, and some groups were actually removed altogether from the platform. With this in mind, there's a decent chance LinkedIn takes similar steps to dissuade people from joining pods in bad faith. So my big question to you, are you going to stay far, far away from these things that I spoke about to make sure that you're keeping yourself credible on LinkedIn? So again, make sure you do not use any automated software that connects for you that adds a sales pitch message in the note. Make sure you're not using any automated software that sends a message to a new connection after you connect with them. And absolutely do not join or pay to be a part of any engagement pod if you want to keep your credibility strong on LinkedIn. So as a reminder, the registration for our 5-day amateur to expert 5-day LinkedIn intensive is open. The link is in the description of this episode. So everyone, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Please enjoy the rest of your days, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye, everyone. Thank you so much again for checking out today's episode. And if you are listening through iTunes, Spotify, wherever you are, please leave me a rating and review. Let me know what you loved, what you would like to see improved, or ideas you have for future episodes. And if you are interested in taking your business to the next level, don't hesitate to go to my website, www.scottaaron.net, where you can schedule a free discovery call with me, where I can learn more about you, your business, what you're struggling with, and how we can work together. And don't forget to check out my wife, Nancy, and mine, our free community on Facebook called LinkedIn Leads for Life. We would love to see you in there. Have a great rest of your day. And thank you everyone for your support. Grateful for each and every one of you.